it's like we show our aspirational selves online.
Yeah, we do. But we get so caught up in showing our aspirational selves that we don't actually spend time developing ourselves into those people that we're pretending to be. We're getting
Hmm.
pat on the back for, putting up hashtag this, hashtag that. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Black Lives Matter.
yeah, Black Lives Matter, whatever the case is. There's a nigga down the street that want a burger, but you pass by him every day. Be
I'm
that person
dead.
that you're trying to pretend to be.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Take time and develop the character that you want everybody on social media to think that you have.
So what I think is interesting is now we live in a world where friction is removed. You know what I mean? The biggest businesses in this world are those that remove friction. And one of the biggest things that we've experienced in our generation is the rise of social media, removing the friction that it takes to stay in touch with people, keep up with your friends, your families. You know what I mean? Stalk your ex-girlfriend. So it's like, what do you think about like what the social media age has done for us?
It's done a lot for us, like you said before. It's easier to stay connected now, easier, more so than ever. I think that it has just as many pros as it does cons. So, I mean, that's a big one, to be able to stay connected with people, to be able to find people, to be able to market your business if you have one in a way that you couldn't do before, reach more people. That's definitely a pro, but some of the things that it does to our brain, I think, and the over excessive use of social media, I think it's something that we need to do a little bit more research on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Which is interesting because the recent like Facebook whistleblower, where they had done their own internal research and they knew that like Instagram had played on people's insecurities and had been like linked to different things like that, but they still, instead of Facebook is aware that controversy sells, so instead of like addressing like how to fix that like algorithmically, they know
mm,
that controversy sells, so why would we, you know what I mean, we need more people to look at our platform.
right, right. And it's crazy. They already have some of their eyes on it. How many more people do they need? You said something about them changing the name of Facebook.
Hmm.
What was
It's
that
Meta
supposed to be?
now.
It's
It's
Meta.
Meta.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think social media. There's this thing about social media. It makes you compare yourself. Makes you compare. People put their best moments on social media, and oftentimes those moments are artificial in the first place. And what you find yourself doing is trying to live up to what you see other people doing, other people that you may know, or maybe people that you don't know. You're trying to live up to this standard that's been set by social media that you see every day when you wake up. You look at social media. It's one of the first things I do when I wake up is I'll, pull up Facebook or something, and before I
Mhm.
get out of bed. And you're constantly comparing yourself to these people that are living lives that may or may not be real. I think that that's a big problem.
Yeah, I definitely would say that it plays on a lot of like different insecurities. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because you're comparing what people do, what their house is like, their friends, their family, even like visually. Like Instagram is terrible for anybody's self-esteem, and a lot of times Photoshop and filters, like it's been shown over and
Photoshop
over
and
again.
filters. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Why do you I guess my thing is why are we so obsessed with, you know it's interesting to think, because life's not a popularity contest, but
Mm.
social media has turned it into that. You know what I mean? You don't feel
Well,
funny, you don't feel validated, you don't feel loved, you don't feel, you know what I mean?
it we're always trying to climb up the social ladder,
Hmm.
and we tend to do whatever it takes to do that. Now, if you don't have social media, if you don't have that influence, that becomes a lot easier. When we were younger, it was easier to climb up the social ladder and to obtain some level of social status. But nowadays, you got to have money, you got to have a car, you got to have a trip to Dubai. You know what I'm saying? In order to have that, because the pool is much bigger now. It's much bigger pool of people, and so you have to constantly climb and it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
But, you know, but also to the back end of that, there is a lot of good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
There's been a lot of good social movements that have been created through social media. People who wouldn't be held accountable has been held accountable. Relationships have been able to, you know what I mean, survive a lot longer than they would have, which I guess can be a bad thing or a good thing.
Yeah, it depends. You said something about a lot of movements. You know, I think that's one of the. It's a pro and it's a con. You know, I already know where I'm going with this. People can get on social media and act like they care. They can get on social media and have a hashtag and hashtag this, and hashtag that. But what are you actually doing? You know what I'm saying? Social media allows you to hide behind the screen and sit on these platitudes of I care about this, I care about that. It's just as easy as clicking, taking a picture of this or that, and putting a hashtag on it. That doesn't really do anything. You know, people say, well, I'm bringing awareness. And we're all aware. Is anybody going to do anything? You know, this is October is what? Domestic Violence Awareness Month?
I was unaware.
We're on the way out of that. But, you know, it's like, yeah, but what are we going to do about it? You know, so
I don't know how to solve domestic violence.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that I certainly don't think that it's going to be solved with, you know, somebody putting a purple sticker somewhere. You know, that's the color. So, just kind of how I look at it. But you know, they actually say that women are just as likely to engage in domestic abuse as men.
Yeah,
just not physically as strong. So there's a lot of men out here getting physically abused and verbally abused. I think it's more likely that you will get verbally abused, but I don't know. You know, statistics say different. So yeah, back to the point. You know, yeah, social media allows a lot of people to be fake in more than one way. So, you know, it's kind of.
But in many ways, it's interesting because you're able to control the conversation about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes, if you have a level of integrity and honesty with how you paint that narrative. I think a lot of people don't. No.
Do you think that there is like some differences in the different platforms, like, you know, like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat?
Well, I only use Facebook and Instagram, or whatever the hell it is they're calling it nowadays. I guess I'm on TikTok sometimes, but yeah, I guess there's some variation. Instagram obviously focuses more on pictures and stuff like that.
What I think is very strange is that, you know, to us, we have had childhoods absent of social media. Like, I mean, we were teenagers and stuff, but we still had some level of awareness.
We knew what the world was like before it.
Yeah. But what I think is especially appalling is people who post their children. You know what I mean? Because you're kind of being broadcasted to the world without ever actually getting a choice. And then it's interesting because, you know, we're kind of coming out of the cyberbullying era now. I mean, I don't know if people cyberbully. I guess people will always talk, you know, shit. But, you know, I would say that social media has contributed to suicide. You know what I mean? In the sense that, I mean, you used to be able to, you know, hide from your enemies, but now your enemies, I mean, all you have to do is
come
type
home
in your
with
name. Yeah. And but to the opposite end of that, lots of people have found support in social media. You know what I mean? Like, no matter who you are or what you know, we like to believe we're unique, and we are, but we're not as unique as we want to be. And it's like, whatever your interest is, whatever you're ashamed of, whatever it is, whoever you are, there's a group for you, and you can find that group.
Yeah, because the world is more connected now than it ever has been. So I agree. It's a double-edged sword. Social media and the internet in general is definitely.
Do you feel like, because one thing a lot of older people tell me is like, people don't talk to each other anymore in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people have lost social skills.
But isn't that, like, if the point is to be able to effectively communicate with people, right? and efficiently communicate with people because we have busier lives than we ever had before.
Mm.
What doesn't it seems like social skills have evolved, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
the landscape has changed is what I'm saying.
there's a difference between communicating and connecting.
So
there's
I
definitely a
guess,
difference in that.
have you ever made an online friend?
Yes, I have actually.
Do you
But
feel
do
like
we
that person
connect?
is your friend?
Yes, but I don't think that we have the level of closeness that we would if we were actually in physical proximity. You
Mm.
know, you're really big on evolution, and I think that you would agree that humans have evolved. I just want to throw that out there. Either way you look at it, humans are we're made to see each other. We're made to hear each other. We're made to be in physical proximity, to see, not just text and stuff like that, not just leave a message. We need to see each other's face. There's certain nuances in your face when I say certain things that I can read, engage your emotions. I can gauge a reaction from them. You know what I'm saying? There's certain tones, sort of tone shifts. There's an art to communication. There's an art to speaking. And we lose that if we spend all our time on social media. And it's not that we spend 100% of our time on social media, but we spend so much of it on social media that the skills, the regular communication skills that allows us to connect with people, we're beginning to lose that. There was a diminishing. How many relationships start off on dating sites now? I mean, people are more comfortable sending a message than going up and talking to somebody. As nerve-wracking as that is, but it develops character, in my opinion.
But then it's also very much like I like online dating because one of the things I struggle with is I never want to feel like, you know what I mean? People are fucking busy, you know what I mean? Somebody's out in their day-to-day life. Maybe this isn't the time. Like, maybe she did like you, right? But she's at fucking Walmart and she's trying to get tissue paper because she has to use the bathroom. Like, it is, you know what I mean? It gives you a chance. It gives you a chance to have a very, like, I guess, consenting and open conversation with the person. You know what I mean? Do you want to talk?
Well, it kind of streamlines it.
Yeah.
It kind of streamlines it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not against social media or dating apps or anything like that. I just think that we need to spend more of our time actually in physical proximity, actually speaking with people, as opposed to living an online life. So that's kind of how I feel about that. I think that there are, social skills come into play when you're in a situation like that. You kind of need to know how to gauge a situation and just, how does she look at you? Has she noticed you? You know what I'm saying? Those sort of things that you don't really get from Tinder and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then you get to kind of, I think with the social media dating, you don't really get to see a person in life, you know what I mean? How they handle certain things.
Yeah, I mean,
but also it's sort of like, being a fucking grown up it's one of the things is that you don't really get a chance to organically meet women. Like, you do, but for the most part, the women you interact with who aren't like relatives or friends are generally like co-workers or something. There's some type of purpose to the interaction. You know what I mean?
It depends. How many people actually put themselves out there? How many people actually go out with the intention of meeting new people?
I guess not many.
Not many, no.
But
they're just subtle nuances. There are subtle nuances to human interaction that does not translate well into social media.
I agree. But
it's just no substitute.
How I look at it is like, I agree with you that we need to get better at interpersonal communications. But I think that, like, social media is a great way to meet new people. You know what I mean?
Well, it's an additive. It's a great additive to life. It's a great additive to your arsenal as far as with anything really. You can use social media for anything. But it shouldn't be the sole vehicle that you use to, interact with humans. It's just not how it was built.
So you really do feel as if we've lost something.
As we move further and further into a digital age, I think that we do begin to lose our ability to interact with people and connect with people. I mean, a lot of times you go to a family event, you go to a restaurant, you go to anywhere, you'll see people on their phone more than you see them actually talking with one another. You know what I'm saying? How many people really know how to sit and talk and have a conversation? How many people have conversational skills, those sort of soft skills that help you connect with people?
But I do feel you, but it's still like we're able to reach more people. We're able to really say, I was here, and everybody gets to say, I was here. You know what I mean?
But it goes back to what I said earlier. We're reaching more people, but how many people are we actually connecting with? On a deeper level, a level that us as humans need.
But wouldn't you agree that connection is just probability?
Now you'd have to explain that.
What I'm saying is that basically, like, you find your people, right? The people that you would connect with, the people you'd be close with. So what I'm saying is that it gives you a greater, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to find your people in a group of 10 versus a group of 1 million, you're gonna, you know what I mean?
Well, when I say connect, I don't necessarily mean that you have to be close with them. But having a connection is being able to recognize this person as it's hard to explain it. I'd have to think about it more in order to put it into words. But it's not necessarily just being super close to them. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. Making a genuine connection with somebody, it can be as simple as having a conversation where you both identify with something. You know what I'm saying? You when you look somebody in the eye, you're having a conversation with them. There's just there's certain chemicals that are released. It's a completely different feeling than looking at a screen and texting or messaging somebody. You know what I'm saying?
When you meet somebody, you get their phone number or whatever.
Yeah, but you only do that to be able to connect with them and talk with them when you're not around them. The ultimate goal is to be around them. Especially like if we're talking about dating, you're going and messaging them so you can what? And you know this. Do you want to just, when you message somebody on Tinder, do you want to just sit there and message them all day? No, you want to get into physical proximity with them and to make a connection. Now that connection may be something different from what I've been talking about for the whole show. I think the connection that you're trying to make with Tinder is a little bit different, right? I mean, do you want to go into detail with the body parts that you plan on connecting?
Hearts and minds. And so would you argue that we are getting worse because of social media?
I think our social skills are getting worse, and that's going to come with something. What happens if you live in a world where you find it difficult to connect with the person that you live with your neighbor? We're all neighbors. We all live on this planet. What kind of world do you think that's going to make? And not to say that social media is this conspiracy, but there are effects that come with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just think that we just need to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
We need to be mindful of not eating too many sweets. It's not that donuts are evil, just that you can't have too much of it. Moderation.
Yeah. I feel like, well, yeah, this is still very, very valid. Social media encourages us to only present the best sides of ourselves and to amplify whatever, you know what I mean, we're trying to, however we want to be portrayed. And it's weird because you mentioned connection, and it's like you want people to connect to the real you. I do believe that you can have genuine connections, but only if you're actually presenting your actual self. You know what I mean? Otherwise, whoever you connect with on social, because I think that you can connect through social media, but if you do not present yourself as you are, or I mean, I think no matter what, whether it be in person or social media, we're all different people depending on who we're talking to. You know what I mean? But the thing is, as long as we bring like a level of genuineness, and that's what worries me so much about social media. Everybody is so disingenuous that it's very, very weird. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, people are like that in real life. It's just harder to hide it.
mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? It's harder. I think really, this is how I would put it. Like, it's very hard to pick up on bad vibes through a fucking screen.
Yeah, because you're not designed to pick it up that way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that'd be hard to just design. You know what I mean? Honestly, one thing I do like though is that it has had an effect on our economy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. On that, social media is a job. We all get a chance to be famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look at us now. Not so, famous, yeah. But we're able to connect. Being how far apart are we? Not that far, but you know, it definitely has made this conversation a lot more convenient. I don't have to yell miles down the road in order to have a conversation with you.
Write you a letter, wait a week. Yeah. But it's so there. I think that social media is not necessarily bad. I think that it's just like we as a society haven't gotten used to how to handle it correctly. I think that it's like we lose a level of empathy at times. It's like we show our aspirational selves online.
Yeah, we do. But we get so caught up in showing our aspirational selves that we don't actually spend time developing ourselves into those people that we're pretending to be. You know, we're getting pat on the back for, you know, putting up hashtag this, hashtag that. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter, whatever the case is. There's a nigga down the street that want a burger, but you pass by him every day. You know, be that person that you're trying to pretend to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Take time and develop the character that you want everybody on social media to think that you have. Mm-hmm. Take time to develop the financial prowess that you want everybody on social media to think that you have. I think a lot of people get so caught up in looking like they are this or looking like they're that. They forget, they don't even know how to develop themselves into becoming.
Yeah. You know, a friend of mine
once said, the danger of social media.
A friend of mine once said, you know, it's more important to be something than to look like something. And, you know.
That friend was exceptionally wise. You should listen to him.
It's just something we're dealing with. And I will say that, like, there has been it's weird because it's like we have GoFundMe stuff, which is also a platform that's been misused. But through social media, we can, you know what I mean? We can do a roll call easier than ever, you know? And then we have things like Black Lives Matter, but then at the same time, you know, we have like Trump winning and how much misinformation was spread on Facebook and different things like that. So it's like, it's such a double-edged sword, you know what I mean?
I agree. Definitely. You're constantly comparing yourself to the people who aren't even real.
And then, like, I don't know if you look at Facebook Reels, it's some crazy shit going on in there.
Like what? I mean, I'm sure I've looked at it, but
it's
maybe I haven't. You're not talking about the stories.
It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like Facebook's attempt to steal TikTok.
Shit, they probably own TikTok. I don't know.
No. TikTok is actually a Chinese conspiracy.
I'm thinking of Instagram.
Which we said this here. TikTok is a Chinese conspiracy. It comes from a Chinese company, and Chinese companies have to whatever the government tells them, they have to like just go with it, or like people start disappearing. So watch your data. They're collecting information. First time said here in the Nakamas. We called it out.
So it's not the first time it's been said. I've heard it before. You know,
Shut the hell up, Steven.
Yeah, man, I think social media is a tool. It's a helpful tool, but just like anything, it can be misused. It oftentimes is. I think sometimes it may take people bumping their heads before they finally understand how something it needs to have a bit of moderation. You know, you were right when you said that this is the first generation, not us, but the generation behind us. This first generation that is completely engulfed in the technological age, social media. I mean, they were born in it. So let's see how things progress.
How do you feel about the companies and the amount of control that they have? Because now we really have experienced how social media spills out into real life. And so now we gotta have a conversation with these websites. You know what I mean?
The selling of our personal information is something that I don't agree with. But I mean, what can you do? You know, it's a trade-off. You want this, you have to give me that. You know, it comes at a price. So how do we fix that? I don't know. I don't know if it can be fixed. I don't really think that they'll ever. Well, the control that they have is the control that we've given them.
I agree.
Put it that way.
But there has to be something. I think what we're struggling with right now, and why like Mark Zuckerberg is such a hated person, is that these things are proposed to be community. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be, you know, we're all linked together, but inside of these communities, the people in them, you know what I mean? The users don't really have a voice. We're not able to make decisions.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I don't like that.
So that's definitely something that we're gonna have to struggle with, is that the users, they are the product, honestly. You know what I mean?
And the information, their likes, hopes, and dreams, yeah.
And honestly, if you use Facebook, you're a Facebook employee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're working for Facebook. You're the one that's keeping Facebook afloat. So I mean, isn't that the definition of an employee?
Exactly. You make them money, you keep them profitable. So we need to start having governance, being able to have a conversation, being able to vote, being able to propose changes to sites that go greater than just reporting a page or something. You know what I mean? Because I think that many people would like instead of being what's most controversial, being what's at the forefront of social media, it probably should be something that's like more like probably like relevance and date or something. But there needs to be some way where we're able to be, because we are shareholders, so we should be treated as such. And
when you say controversial, don't you think that's what gets the most attention?
Yeah.
You know, so if we don't give it attention, do you think that it will be you know, highly ranked, so to speak?
I guess not, but there has
no, it depends. It depends, because YouTube still ranks certain things,
exactly,
you know, on the trending page, despite the fact that it may or may not necessarily be the most viewed. I think they do definitely push certain videos. So there's a fine line there.
That's the thing, is like clickbait is an art form now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need to learn it.
We are. Like, subscribe, share, contribute to the Patreon. Twitter and Instagram is coming soon. And also there's Cash App, and your donation is appreciated. We're working hard to buy Steven's freedom.
Buy my freedom? My slave or something? I would say that comparison is the death of happiness. And social media definitely promulgates a culture of comparison. And you're comparing yourself to something that isn't even real. So, you know, we'll see how that goes.
I'm hoping that basically with all new things introduced to humans, that we gain fucking control over ourselves, and we take these things and we harness them, and we make a better world for us to live in, our children to live in, and just help make us better collectively as a as a species and as a society. We're out.
You won't do.
Yeah, I'm not.